Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I am so excited because I'm going to be doing a first impressions and demo on the new Patrick Ta spring collection. Patrick Ta is one of my favorite brands. I just love the colors, the vibe, everything about his products just really draw me in. And of course, if you've been watching me for any amount of time, you probably know that his cream blush, powder blush duos are one of my favorites, if not my favorite formula of all time. I own every single shade, and he came out with 3 new colors. And he also came out with a new formula of his plumping lip glosses. So he came out with 5 shades. I picked up 3. So I feel like we have a lot of products to try on. 3 blush duos, 3 glosses. So I just want to get into it. I'm super excited. I will link the products down below as well as on the screen so you can shop. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. And if you love Patrick Ta or you just like first impressions and demos, give this video a thumbs up and let's go ahead and get into it. Okay, so I've got you zoomed in and I'm excited to swatch and talk about these blushes, also apply them. This is one of my favorite products of all time. It really is special because there's a powder and a cream. You apply them in a way that typically you're not told to apply creams and powders. So you start with the powder and then you put the cream on top, and it doesn't lift, it doesn't get patchy, it just brings your skin to life and it really gives you a glow without enhancing your texture. The shades that he has are so beautiful, and these 3, I peeked at them and I think these are gonna be some new favorites for a lot of different people. So he came out with 3 different shades. These are $38 each. I got mine at Sephora, so I will have a link down below. But let's go ahead and look at these blush shades. So the first one I have here is called Just Enough. This is a beautiful baby doll pink. Now this one definitely looks like the lightest baby doll color from Patrick Ta. I thought that this reminded me most of one of the blush duos in a palette. So I want to swatch this first. Okay, so here is what Just Enough swatches like. I'm going to put some close-ups as I go through these just so you can see better. This one is giving me a cool baby doll pink. I turned my lights down for you guys. Now this one is definitely a lighter baby doll pink, more of that like pastel, sort of giving me the Dior pink kind of vibes. Now when I was looking through my collection of Patrick Ta, it reminds me most of the pink in the palette. This was his first holiday palette. It was honestly a huge hit, one of my favorites of all time. Okay, so here it is compared to She's a Doll. This one is from his first holiday palette, but when you look at the colors, you can just see how much richer and brighter She's a Doll is. The new one is just a lot more pastel. Okay, and then on my hand, the top 2 swatches is the new shade Just Enough, and then underneath that is She's a Doll. So you can really see in the swatches more so than in the pan that they are not similar really at all. Moving on to the second blush in this collection. This is called She's the Moment. I feel like people are going to love this color. It is a gorgeous peachy shade. Again, the powder side is really reminding me of Dior just looking at it, but the cream side is definitely more punchy and peach. So let me go ahead and get swatches on my hand. And then I do have one other color that sort of gives me this vibe, but again, I just don't think that they're close enough. So I'm really happy to see that these shades, so far from what I can tell, are quite unique, even looking similar in the pan. So here is She's the Moment, which is that really beautiful peach shade. So hard to show these just because the packaging, everything about it is reflective, but this one is a gorgeous peachy color. I think a lot of people are gonna love this one. Okay, so here is the swatch of She's the Moment. I lowered my lights for you guys, and then I want to compare it to another shade in his collection. So here is the other shade that reminded me most of this. This one is an OG. It's called Do We Know Her? The cream side is quite similar, but the powder is not similar at all. So let me go ahead and show you the swatches. Okay, so on the top is the new shade called She's the Moment, and then on the bottom is the OG color, which is Do We Know Her? So I feel like the creams are very, very, very close, but the powders are much different. Okay, moving on to the third blush shade. This one is called Not Too Much. This one is really similar in the pan to She's So LA. That's initially what I thought, but when you get it in person, it definitely has more of a rosy tone and it's definitely lighter. So I'm interested to swatch this and compare. Okay, so here is a swatch of Not Too Much, definitely more rosy. Okay, so here is a close-up swatch with the lights lowered. It's a really beautiful, beautiful shade. Okay, now I have She's So LA versus Not Too Much. So hopefully you can see that She's So LA is definitely darker and definitely more tan, whereas Not Too Much definitely has more of that like rosy tone to it. Okay, and then here are the swatches. So you can see Not Too Much is on the top, She's So LA underneath. So definitely, definitely different, which I'm happy to see. All right, so I zoomed you in and let's go ahead and start applying these. So I'm gonna start off with Just Enough, which is that really beautiful baby pink. I'm gonna go into the powder side first, which is how he recommends to apply these. Now I will say this is quite powdery, so just keep that in mind. But I'm gonna build these up pretty intensely so you can see the payoff. So that is one layer. I'm gonna go in for another. This is definitely a lighter baby pink. You know what I love about these though? It almost looks like I put on highlighter and I didn't, and my skin doesn't look textured. That's what makes these just so beautiful, and I haven't even applied the cream side yet. So this is the powder side of Just Enough. Okay, now I'm gonna go ahead and dip into the cream side, and I'm gonna use the brush that I wiped off. I'm gonna load it on the brush, and then I like to use my hand just to soften. You can use a sponge as well, which I typically do like to do, but I decided I had 3 of the same brush, so I'm like, you know what? Let me just use that to demo today. So I'm really building this up. And this is over a set face, which is another reason why I love his blush formula. This is so pretty. I feel like my lip is throwing me off just because it's not going with this blush. Ooh, that's so pretty. But I love the shade. I don't know if it would work for really deep complexions. I think it might be one of those like topper shades or mixer shades for some people if you just want a little bit of like that pastel baby doll pop. Okay, so this is the first shade, Just Enough. I think it's absolutely beautiful. I would definitely change my lip color, but I'm a sucker for a baby pink. So I'm gonna go ahead and remove this, and then I'm gonna go into the next shade, which is that beautiful peachy coral shade. Okay, so I redid my base, and I wanna go into She's the Moment. So I have a clean brush, and I'm gonna dip into the powder side to start. This one I think is gonna be a dark horse. Like the Dior Backstage Coral, but amplified. Ooh, I already am loving this one a lot. So I'm just building up the powder side. That is so beautiful. Wow. So this is what the powder looks like without the cream. I am really loving this. So now I want to go into the cream side. So I'm just loading up my brush, and then I'm going to take and sort of pat it on my hand. And then just start pressing this on top. Wow, this color is gorgeous. I'm really gonna go heavy here, so just so you can really see Yes, 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 yes. I'm actually surprised I like this more than the pink. Just initial thoughts. Of course, I'm not applying this perfectly. I'm just trying to show you guys the color. Wow. I'm actually going to see Drake tonight in concert. We bought tickets like forever ago. It got postponed and changed like a million times. So we're going to see Drake, and I think I'm gonna wear this blush. I just think this blush deserves a moment there. Woo, that is so pretty. Absolutely stunning. If you were on the fence about this one, I would definitely pick this up. I feel like this one's probably gonna sell out because I could just see the people going nuts on TikTok over this. Okay, so this is She's the Moment. It is absolutely gorgeous. I am floored by this shade. I don't want to remove it, but let's go ahead and take this off and then we'll get into the final shade. Okay, so now I want to go into the last shade, which is called Not Too Much. So I'm going to take a clean brush and I'm going to go into the powder side first. I didn't do the best job at removing and reapplying, but we're just going to go with it. It's kind of hard to remove foundation with powder and then reapply it and make it look seamless. So this one, you definitely want to build up more than the other two. So that is the powder side. I'm going to go even further. I'm also going to put it on the other side of my face too, so you can see the shade. This one is that natural flush, but it's very, very subdued. I would say maybe the most subdued blush that Patrick Ta has, if I can remember correctly. And I think he did say that he has a lot of really vibrant, bright shades. So he wanted to do something a little bit more neutral every day, and I definitely can see that. So now let's go into the cream side. I feel like this is probably gonna help punch this up because, you know, I like a really intense blush. I'm one of those girls that's like, more is more. So I'm going to, that's so pretty. Apply this. I'm on layer 2 here, and I'm just taking this pretty much all across the face. So that is what it looks like with the powder and cream. And then this side you can see is just the powder. So it definitely does amplify it, but I would say this definitely is his most neutral, just natural blush color. Ooh, it's pretty though. I'm building it up. So this is the shade Not Too Much. I think the name is perfect for this. This is so, so beautiful. Definitely more subdued than I typically go for, which is why I like to put it all over the center of my face, almost like I have a little bit of that like sun-kissed rosy look. And you can just see I don't have any highlighter on, and I put no highlighter on with any of these, but because they have this beautiful glow in them, they almost look like you have a highlighter on. It's really a special formula. There's no chunky glitter. It doesn't enhance your texture. Ooh, this is so pretty. Okay, so here is the last blush in Not Too Much. This one is a beautiful, beautiful neutral color. I feel like a lot of people will like this. If you like more of a subdued, just like rosy, almost burnt type of look, but not too much, which again, the name really is perfect for this one. Okay, I can't help myself. I wanna jump in to the cream coral shade and just add a little bit on my cheeks just because that's what I love. And then we'll get into the lip glosses. But the whole point of these is to be able to mix and match and layer. They're just so special because they don't lift on top of powder at all. They're just really a phenomenal formula. If you've not tried these, I'm serious, you're missing out. All right, so now that we've gone over the blushes, I wanna jump into the glosses. So this is a new formula from Patrick Ta. He originally had his plumping lip glosses, which I love. They do not hurt. They have like this refreshing sort of like cinnamon scent to them, which I typically don't like, but there's something about it that's just very light and really refreshing. And they're really high shine, but they're quite sheer. So they kind of have like the look of a lip oil. These are the new rich plumping lip glosses. So my understanding is they're very similar, but they just have a lot more pigment. These are the type of glosses that I personally love, but I wanna go ahead and swatch these. I think my favorite is gonna be this one, which is called Say Less. This is a gorgeous baby pink, and that is honestly my favorite lip gloss to wear, just because I usually will use a shade like this in the center of my lips to lighten my lipstick. And then I also picked up the second lightest shade, which is called Need Her. If I can get these open, wow, they're really twisted tight. So it feels like the same sort of formula, or I guess texture. Then if you've never tried his formula, they have a large doe foot that is slanted. And then the last shade that I picked up is called Obviously. This one is like a brown mauve-y nude shade. Okay, and then I turned my lights down so you can see the swatches. Definitely a pigmented gloss, which I am here for. Okay, so I went ahead and wiped off the lipstick that I had on. I do have a nude lip liner on, which I would always wear. And this one is like a Barbie collab, I think with Glam Light. Don't quote me, but I'll try to link it. So I wanna start out with Obviously, because I feel like I wanna end up with the pink shade. So let's go ahead and just apply this to bare lips with a lip liner. Feels like the same formula, has the same scent, which again, I really, really like. It almost, I don't know, just makes you feel like you put in like a breath mint. So they can definitely sheer out, or you can layer them more heavily. I think the pink one is gonna be the one that you're definitely gonna wanna use the least of, just because it's more of like a center of the lip type of shade. But this one is not quite as pigmented as I thought, which I think is a good thing. It's not gonna be as intimidating. So this one is Obviously. Okay, moving on to the next shade. This one is called Need Her. This one looks like a really beautiful mid-tone, just nudie pink. Oh yeah, I think a lot of people are gonna like this shade. Okay, so this is the shade Need Her. I just think a lot of people are gonna gravitate towards this one. Very much like the blush that I'm wearing right now, the Not Too Much. If your vibe is more of like that monochromatic, just natural tones, I think that you would really like this shade. It kind of just looks like a sheer lip oil on me, but I don't really have pigmented lips, which is why I use my lip stain usually. But this shade is really, really beautiful. It would go with pretty much any, makeup look that you wanna wear. Okay, and last but not least, this is the lightest gloss shade, and this is called Say Less. Now I have a feeling this isn't gonna look the best just alone, but I would use this layered over. I feel like I have a hair. I think I have a hair. I would use this layered over a lipstick or a really deep liner. So I'm just gonna apply it so you can see alone. It's actually not too crazy on my skin tone, but again, I am somebody that wears baby pink glosses regularly. This one I would definitely, I'm building it up so you guys can see. I would definitely use your fingers to blend. Just because it does have like that milky white base. But you can see once I blend it out, I mean, I could wear it just like this. It's a really pretty like milky pink. Okay, so here is the shade Say Less. I do tend to really like pale lip glosses, so this is like right up my alley. But I would definitely tweak this a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and just add some more liner and kind of play around and show you how I would wear it. Okay, so now that we've demoed all of the products, I wanna give you my first impressions. So of course, the blushes are absolutely perfect. The formula just makes this so special. It really just gives you such a glow. It goes over powder. You can use it on an unset face. You can use the powder first, then the cream first, then the powder, mix and match. So really the formula is absolutely perfect. This is his signature formula. So this is not the palette that he released, I think last year. Was it last year or the year before? You know what? Time is just, I don't even know what day it is. The holiday palette he released that had sort of this sheer glittery type of formula, which people really weren't into. This is not that. This is the OG, really pigmented, beautiful, glitter-free formula. So I'm really happy to see that. So this shade I think I will love. I just have to play around with. And then not too much, which is what I have on right now. I could see a lot of people loving. Again, this is something I would probably reach for more on like a natural day, whereas I would pull for the other ones when I really want to like glam and just make my cheeks pop. But I have to say, She's the Moment is truly the moment. This is the best of the three, in my opinion. It's got that like neon sort of vibe. Again, very similar to the Dior blush, but much more pigmented. So definitely recommend these. Honestly, I have all the shades of Patrick Ta blushes and you would have to fight me to take them from me. They are a prized possession to me. I'm just so excited that he's really expanding on such a phenomenal product. So 10 out of 10 for me for the blushes. Moving on to the rich lip glosses. I don't know if a lot of people are really going to get on with this formula. The reason I say that is this is one of those formulas that's definitely thicker, but because it has pigment, it's not gonna have the ease of just throwing on a lip oil and being, you know, in your car, not having a mirror, things like that. Especially the pink shade, which ironically is my favorite. You definitely want to use your finger to blend it out because this is so milky. It has such a white base. It's not one of those you can just throw on when you're out doing errands and not check unless you kind of run your finger over your lips. But this is my favorite shade just because I love to use it in the center of my lips. I think a lot of people are really going to like the Need Her shade. This is truly just like Your Lips But Better, very natural. I feel like it would look good on really any skin tone, obviously looking lighter on some and then darker on others, but overall a really beautiful, just like mid-tone shade. And then if you like those really chocolatey sort of shades, he does have a few to choose from. This is the kind of middle of the road, which is called Obviously, but there was definitely some like deeper, richer colors. I wouldn't say these are sticky, but they're definitely thicker, but with that, they're going to hang on. So you're not gonna have to reapply these every 30 minutes. They're gonna hang on your lips and they're not gonna bleed out of your lip line. So that's why I really like a thick formula. And I really love the scent on these. It's just got like a hint of cinnamon. So it really, to me, feels like I just brushed my teeth or popped in a mint. So for me, I really, really like these. I would say that I probably won't get much use out of this shade. I would probably reach for these shades the most, but hands down for me, I'm not surprised. The pink shade is my favorite because it's just something that I always keep nearby just to lighten any of my lip colors. So I knew this was gonna be great for me. Okay guys, so I think that is everything for this first impressions and demo of the new Patrick Ta spring collection. You'll have to let me know what you think of the blushes and glosses. Also let me know what you picked up. I will link them down below at both Patrick Ta's website and also Sephora. And if you're really interested in the blushes in particular, I would definitely hop on it because I could just see these going viral on TikTok and selling out. And I know that his stuff has been kind of in and out of stock for quite a while, specifically his blushes. So definitely get on it if you're interested, but I am just so excited about this collection. I think it's a beautiful collection for spring, nothing too overwhelming, but just gorgeous colors and amazing formulas. So let me know what you guys think of everything that I tried today down below. I love to have a chat with you guys in the comments. If you're new here, I hope you stick around and subscribe. And if you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. As always, thank you guys again so much for watching. I'll see you in the next video.